Good morning, 9:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, August 19th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So as we can see, XRP still hanging on to that 50 cents. The bulls right now are at least showing some support at the 50 cent level. We'll take a very close look at this, what this means. Right now, as we know, if you watched the live yesterday, if you're in tune with the updates. If you're not, what we're mainly watching out for here is if we take a look into the smaller time frames, just real quickly, and we'll show this transparently. So the support right now is 488, 49 cents, 488. I'd say about 49 cents here as we're continuing on this little bit of an uptrend. This is the ascending triangle formation that we fell back within after losing this falling wedge. So this falling wedge right here is what we lost. We came back through, made a swing low at 432, but it looks like we were talking about yesterday, and I would love to hear in the comments because we had a lot of feedback on the live yesterday, and I would love to hear more. So we dropped down, and now, is that a bear flag or a bull flag? We came down, we pulled up very quickly, so it would in appearance make it look like, hey, we dropped down into a bear flag, but when you actually look at the break back up, if this breaks up, we have a technical target to retest that 545 area. That's the breakdown of the falling wedge. It's also where the ascending triangle pattern meets it. And so you would have a meet point right around 54.3 cents approximately. I know the 20 days run through a little bit in the 4 hourly, but to retest that structure is at like the 544, you can say. So we're looking if we break up for a retest at the 544 area. The technical target on a breakdown from here initially is to come retest the bottom of this formation at 432. So it's legitimately, what are we going to do on this thinly traded weekend? Do we break down and go down 13.9% or 14%? Or do we come up and retest this first at about 7.83%? That's the question we have this morning. It's either a 7.3% retest or over 13.8% drop to the swing low. And then if you break that, what we have to look at this morning is if you were to break the swing low, we don't even know if we break 49 cents or 488, if the swing low would even hold. If we break that, our next major support is the 2020 uptrend at 37.3. And the interesting thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, let's tie something in here real quick. XRP's had a golden cross for the third time in its history in the weekly. Each of the first two times it fell at least 60%. If XRP comes back down to the 2020 uptrend, and this is where it gets like, okay, the market manipulators know what they're doing. It's so obvious. At the 2021 uptrend at 37 cents or 37.5, you're talking about that 60% drop. So, I mean, like, if we're talking, well, that's a little bit below, but it's 37 cents approximately, 37.4. Good enough. 60% drop from the swing high to that 2020 uptrend. Is that coincidence? As I stated, the first two times you had at least a 60% drop that you had a weekly golden cross. So let me go into the other chart because that's the one that makes it easier. So I have it circled, so it'll be very easy. So the first golden cross was back here, popped up all the way to 42 cents, came back down to 10 cents. That was better than a 70% drop. This time we came up, it depends where you look at it, but if you come up to the top and then you come through consolidation, that's still a 50% correction from 64 cents down to about 32, 33 cents. So, or 31 cents. So that's over a 60% there. So now again, we looked at this and said, what would have to happen here for this to validate? Well, we measured it out when it was up at the top and said, well, 60% drop gets you to 37 cents. So if that's what we're looking at here, was that 30% or 60% drop, you know, it doesn't have to come all the way down there to meet it perfectly, but we'd be looking for a touch if this breaks down at 37.7 approximately, 37.5. Otherwise, if we're trying to return rally right here, and that's the bearish what we're looking at and the reasons why it could go that way, if we're looking at history. Now, here's what we put down yesterday in the short time frame, this 5103. We talked about it was going to be a very bearish cycle here, or at least not bearish, but it was going to be a very small window here from last night. We had what looked like a gravestone doji here last night. This shows very bearishness. We needed to break up over 5103, and I said anything besides that would just be a fake out to the top side, and then we have to see if we can hold. If we break down below this, and these are conditional candles right now, we're just very, very indifferent right now. We don't know where to go. So now if we take it down into the short-term chart, yes, if we get rejected there, that's convenient that that 5-1 is that resistance point after the gravestone doji. He had to break over that, and we failed to try to show some bullishness. Not saying it's going to break down, but right now we need to get over 51 cents. That's the weekly time frame 200-day support. Being below that and getting rejected on that tomorrow night, if we were below it, would not be a great sign. Ultimately, what you would like to do, if this is just a wick down in the weekly, as you can see how it went down in the weekly, if this is just a wick down, you would like this to pull back up over 54 cents or 544 by tomorrow night at 6 p.m. when the futures market opens, because that's when the weekly candle closes, or 8 p.m. is when the weekly candle closes tomorrow night. So if you want this to just be a fake out, XRP's got to come up over 54.4, or at worst, you want to stay over that 200-day support in the weekly, because that would show the pattern still has strength. It would be within the ascending triangle, and holding that formation, it would allow you to show a little bit of support there and let the bulls try to push in. Right now, the bulls are targeting 50 cents and trying to hold it. 49 cents at worst is what we would be looking at. And then with the total crypto market cap of XRP, or the total market cap of XRP, it's the same thing. Is that a bear flag or bull flag? Right now, the underneath support is 26.38 billion. If we break that, we have to come back down to the bottom where we fell in this formation, which we had this marked yesterday. I don't know why it came off. At 23 billion approximately. So if we come down there, that's the swing low at 23 billion. You don't really want to be coming back down there or breaking through, but that could happen. Right now we have 2-hour resistance up here at 27.1, but as long as we hold 26.3 and get over the short-term resistance, we should be able to push up and try to retest 28.48 billion. Now that we're in this ascending formation, but if we break down, if this were to break down, just for transparency purposes, the first target would be to come back down here and retest that 23 billion. So that's what you're looking at here. And real quickly on the way out, let's take a look at Bitcoin. If you got anything out of this update, make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel and joining the more than 18,100 subscribers. And if you really appreciate my work, consider joining Tom's Army to pay it forward. You can always send a YouTube super chat, but all I ask for is that like. Make sure you hit the like button. It'll help push my content to more people like you and I. So Bitcoin, we were in a broadening wedge pattern. We talked about if we got rejected at this area at 20, it's right around 28,800 it was, we would have a technical target down to about 25,194. You can see how fluent that was as we came down very quickly. There's nothing in between. There was no reason to try to act like there was support in between. We came all the way down to 25,600. We missed this targeted move, as I thought, by about 500 points. Is it necessary for it to come back down there? I mean, that was the technical fill out, but I did it from right there. If you do the breakdown from this consolidation up here, from this top right in here, then you can see how it made that move. But I was targeting it off of the breakdown there. That's how I got just a little bit lower to about 25,194. So right now with Bitcoin looking very bearish. We're trying to reverse, but we haven't shown any strength. Even in the 2-hourly, we haven't got up to the resistance. 30-minute right now, we're just starting to try to push over to try to show support, but we would have to hold 26,000, 25,950 first layer. And then it starts to become a series of chores here for Bitcoin. And the 4-hourly, we need to come all the way back up here and try to retest 27,000 to break back up. So could we be lining up? Possibly. First area to get past in the 30-minute real quickly would be to maintain and hold this 25,900 and get over and hold and start pushing up. If you lose that, you come back down to 25,194. Make sure you hit that like button. And remember, positivity over negativity.